morning, guys. Today is March 11th. It is 5:59 a.m. I'm running late. The plan was for me to leave at 5 o'clock, but clearly I'm a whole hour late. I was struggling. I only got an hour and 45 minutes of sleep, and I'm driving by myself today. So I was trying to get as much sleep as I can. I was kind of up late studying, but I was wide awake because I had took a nap earlier yesterday because I wasn't feeling too good because of the cabergoline. I'm bringing me some energy oil by Bath and Body Works to help hopefully perk me up, and I'm bringing some focus spray by Bath and Body Works. It has eucalyptus and stuff in it to spray in the car. Here's my book bag. I have my shoes in my hand because it's comfortable to ride like this. All I have on today is just this hoodie, gray sweatpants, and a long sleeve white t-shirt. And I'm wearing Jordans because it's a Jordan kind of day. And I just realized that I still have the sticker covering, but it's staying. I don't want my shoes to get messed up. Those shoes came out a while ago and they still look good. Yeah, and I've given away a lot of pairs of Jordans because I was like, oh, I'm growing out of them. But those came out and I had to have them. So Dion got them for me. Let me get my keys, cut off these lights because it's time to go. I just had to take some Tums because my stomach is upset. And I needed to get it together before I get on this road, you guys. See you guys in the car. I have about a 3.5 hour drive. Wish me luck. Guys, I'm stuck in traffic. It's just 9:07 and it's telling me that it's gonna be another hour before I get there, which is very frustrating. This traffic around Northern Virginia, DC is ridiculous. It reminds me of LA traffic, but it's not as bad as New York traffic, although I think my cousin would kind of disagree. So you guys, I made it to the doctor's. They just brought me back. I'm in the same room I was in when I got my saline histogram. They said I don't have to do anything, but they already have the room prepped, I guess, for somebody who might have to. I don't know. I'm just here for a pre-op, but the doctor was in her office, so I guess with another patient. So I just have to wait in here. But I'm ready to get this over with. I have so many questions. I made a list of questions in my notebook, and I also have my medical records in this folder here ready to go whenever she comes. But I'm ready to get back home now because Dion called me and his ship just pulled back in. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets to get off the ship early, but he does have an inspection tomorrow, so he might be home late. But he's coming home today and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. So I'm very, very excited to be seeing my husband finally, because it's so hard when you're separated for a long period of time. I have so much to update him on. We have to actually come back to DC next Monday, a week from now, because we have to do sperm freezing. And I asked the lady today, like, when we do the sperm freezing, are they freezing just enough for one sample for one IUI, or should we do multiple samples? So hopefully they like split it up depending on like how much semen it is, so we can do like a couple of them, just because, you know, Dion's in the military. Deployment is always kind of lingering over our heads. We never know when it can really happen sometimes. So I'm whispering because somebody else is over here. But yeah, I think the doctor is coming now. I'll check in with you after the appointment. Hi guys, it's been a long time since I picked up the camera. I last recorded when I was in the car. I'm not sure if you'll see any of that footage, but I pretty much came home, and as soon as I got home, Dion came shortly after. We did a little bit of catching up. I let him know about my appointment because I had kind of like an emotional moment in the car after my appointment today, my pre-op appointment. I don't know. I think I was just emotionally drained. I was drained because I only had an hour and a half sleep before I left for my appointment this morning because I was up late last night. It is now 4:59 a.m. I've been up all night long because when I got home, it was around 4:30, 4:45. Dion got home maybe 5:15, and I feel like by 5:30 both of us were in the bed, knocked out sleeping, and we slept till midnight, and I've been up ever since. And it's 5 o'clock now, and I need to be trying to go back to sleep because I have therapy at 11, and I don't want to be sleepy going to therapy. I want to get me a little bit more rest. Dion has already gone back to work, so we haven't really spent any time together, and he's been gone for 2 weeks. But I took some notes because I wanted to give you guys like a recap of how my appointment went with my doctor today. I met with the doctor that's going to be doing my hysteroscopy, and I like her a whole lot. Like, she has the same excited energy to treat me and to get me pregnant and to keep me overall healthy as my general endocrinologist, and she is a reproductive endocrinologist. All right, so overall the appointment, like the pre-op portion of the appointment, was very short because many of you may already know. Some of you have found me because I had a hysteroscopy in May of 2018. It's now March of 2019, and I have to have another one because I have another polyp at the top of my uterus that has to be removed. Sorry, my dogs are right here next to me sleeping, so you might hear them snoring. Because this is my second hysteroscopy, I already know what to expect, so I didn't have any questions. We got through all the quick paperwork really fast. I just had questions mostly about moving forward with my trying to conceive journey, because that's why I'm doing all of this. That's how all this was discovered. I need some answers, and then I needed for her to clarify some things for me as far as like my new diagnosis and stuff with this prolactinoma. So I asked her about whether or not I still had PCOS and hyperthyroidism, because the general endocrinologist was like, you might not have any of that, and it may just be something else going on in your body that's kind of manifesting like hyperthyroidism, PCOS. And so when I was diagnosed with this pituitary tumor microadenoma, I was confused or whatever, because I've only talked to her over the phone. I haven't went back into the office to see her. So when I went to my reproductive endocrinologist today, I knew I wanted to get her opinion about what my diagnosis is. So she did confirm that she still thinks that I have PCOS and hyperthyroidism, also just high prolactin, which has caused the little tumor. And I'll point here, if you don't know, it's like bottom part of my brain somewhere here between my eyes. So somebody asked me that in my, I think my brain tumor video. Somebody asked me, does this mean you don't have PCOS and stuff? So I asked to get clarification from my reproductive endocrinologist, and the answer is still I have PCOS, hyperthyroidism, and high prolactin or prolactinoma, and I take cabergoline for treatment right now. As far as the polyp at the top of my uterus, the same procedure will be done to remove it. My new reproductive endocrinologist actually trained and learned from my old reproductive endocrinologist here, who did my first hysteroscopy. So she is well aware of her techniques and how she does things, and it's very similar. So I'm fine with that. The only thing is, if this polyp comes back with precancerous cells, then that may pose a new issue. She's going to want to do a little bit more digging to kind of figure out what's going on with my body, because my first one did come back with precancerous cells. I'm praying that everything comes back okay. We can be done with this whole pile-up hysteroscopy situation. The new endocrinologist, I sat with her, and because I had so many questions about my journey to try to conceive and trying to get her opinion about what I've done so far, she actually pulled up all of my medical records from my trying to conceive journey. So she went back to February 2016 when I first started having labs and stuff done. That's where she saw that I had high prolactin then in February of 2016, and I told you guys in my brain tumor video that I felt like it had just been something that was going on since that time. And she did confirm for me also that she doesn't think that it's been like an ongoing issue for me, because she saw in my medical records that I was tested again for it. I just don't remember, or nobody ever mentioned to me about my prolactin levels. But in February 2016, my prolactin levels were at a 30, which were elevated. A month later, I was tested again, and it was at a 17. So it hasn't been an ongoing, continuous thing. So I hope that clears up that part too. But overall, she went through like all of my labs that I've had done. She knows some of my other fertility doctors that I've seen, because I've been to a few different fertility clinics because my husband's in the military, and we've lived in 2 different states since trying to conceive. And then I've been seeing a lot of military doctors, so a lot of them know each other. Because she went through, she was able to kind of read notes from my old doctors and put together like why they were doing certain treatments, because me just saying things like, oh, I was doing Clomid with Gonal-F injections and Ovidril, I guess it wasn't a common treatment for military doctors to use for fertility. So she went back and did her research, and she sat with me at her computer, and she went through all of those labs along with all of the labs that my general endocrinologist has sent me. We sat and went through all of them together so that she could get a clear picture like my general endocrinologist did, which made me so happy that she was being very thorough. So we sat down, she pretty much got some understanding. I was receiving the treatment that I was receiving in San Diego based on some, I guess, bad notes that were taken from my primary care doctor in San Diego. My primary care doctor had sent me to her saying that I hadn't had any cycles in 5 or 6 years, and that's why I was being referred to fertility overall. They never notated that I didn't have the cycles because I had the Nexplanon and it stopped my cycles completely. So I guess things would have been done differently had the initial request to send me to OB or fertility in San Diego would have been done right. Things kind of just would have been a little bit more different. So I feel better that I had a good sit down with her. We had a good discussion. She went through everything. She's well caught up on what's going on with me, what my general endocrinologist is saying. My general endocrinologist has been very good at notating and requesting labs and stuff for me. So it made it so much easier going to sit with her, for her to look over everything. The only thing that I was missing and that she had questioned about was if I had been tested for diabetes. So the only question she had was about the diabetes, or if I had been tested for diabetes. She saw that in my medical records last year I was taking, well, end of 2017, I was taking metformin for a very short period of time, but my civilian endocrinologist, reproductive endocrinologist that I was doing my letrozole treatments with, she told me I didn't need. She told me that I was within normal range when my A1C hemoglobin was checked, so there was no need for me to take metformin, so she told me to stop taking it. Well, my new reproductive endocrinologist is confused as to why my doctor said that, and she knows her. She trained with her. So she's very curious as to why she told me not to, because I don't remember what the exact range is, but I know the max for the range is 5.6, and at 5.7 they consider you pre-diabetic, and my level was at 5.6. So now she's concerned that I may be pre-diabetic or diabetic, and it hasn't been caught or anything like that. So she had me do some labs today just to check and see if I'm still teetering, if I've crossed over, or what things are actually looking like. So I'm praying that those results come out well, because that may change how she she said it will change how she wants to treat me and proceed with my fertility treatments. We will still proceed, but I'm likely going to have to start some medication for that. But I'm praying that I don't have to, I'm praying that I don't have another diagnosis coming up, which is why I was emotional in the car ride on the way home, because I was worried about being a diabetic. So that's what else is going on. So I'm waiting on the labs from that test to be done. I didn't fast forward or anything, so I don't know if I'll need to take it again at some point. I don't know how it works, but it was like the middle of the day and I had already eaten too. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out, how things are going to go from here, but I'm definitely going to keep you guys posted. So I did ask her regarding like my future IUI treatments or future fertility treatments. Would I be doing letrozole or Clomid? Did they have a preference at this clinic? And she said no, but she did let me know that out of the two of them, only one is FDA approved for fertility, and it's actually only Clomid. Letrozole isn't FDA approved for fertility, but women with PCOS respond best to letrozole. So I let her know that I did not. I responded better to Clomid. On my first cycle with Clomid, I made 4 mature follicles. On my second cycle with Clomid, I made 2 mature follicles. And on my third cycle with Clomid, I made 2 mature follicles. And on my second treatment with Clomid, I did actually conceive. It just ended in miscarriage. So I did let her know that if we could and I could pick, I would like to try doing Clomid again. It's just a matter of if I'll be doing Clomid along with Gonalef and Avadril, or if it'll just be Clomid by itself. I think she would like to try Clomid by itself, but she told me if I feel comfortable having the Gonalef, or I'll feel a little bit more confident, she doesn't mind adding that in for me. But she just didn't want to add any additional medications that I don't need, because I was only given the Gonalef before, because my doctor was under the impression that I just naturally didn't have any cycles for 5 or 6 years. So I like this doctor. She was very thorough. She was very good at giving me like background. This is why they did this. This is what's going on here. And she listened to my thoughts, what I wanted. She told me, you know, we're working together. She's not going to bark orders at me. We're going to work through my fertility plan together. And she's going to do what makes me comfortable, but also provide me with her medical opinion and what she thinks would work best for me to have a successful pregnancy. Oh, so if anything should come up with diabetes or these precancerous cells with this polyp, she will be starting me on treatments as soon as this surgery is over. That's why she wanted to go ahead and test me for diabetes now. So if I needed to start any medication, as soon as my surgery is over, I'll start medication then. She just wants to be proactive with anything, because that was the only test that hadn't been run for me yet. But as long as everything comes back clear, she still wants us, me and my husband, to try to conceive naturally on our own. She's fine with that. She's also fine with doing the IUI. She is aware that my husband is in the military and may be leaving. And so she is very supportive on whatever I want to do. But I think that she's had quite a few people respond positively to taking cabergoline and the hysteroscopy, and getting hysteroscopy and conceiving right away afterwards. So, and so did my old reproductive endocrinologist. She said the same thing, as far as like after the hysteroscopy, a lot of people conceive right away. So now I'm like really ready. I'm keeping positive thoughts. It is very hard because I was in a very, very negative mind state earlier about this whole diabetes thing, and it was just because it's a trigger for me going to the hospital, because I always find out something else is wrong with me, and it's very hard for me to deal with. especially since I found out so many things in in 4 months. I've gotten like 3, 4, 5 new diagnoses, and it's hard to keep hearing that something's wrong with you. So I'm praying, I'm hopeful. I do have my emotional moments, and I did get really emotional in the car because I listened to Beyonce's album, Beyonce, and I listened to the song Blue. And I've listened to this song 1,000 times before, but for some reason today it had new meaning to me, and I started crying listening to it. When she said, "Come on baby, won't you hold on to me?" That is like the way she sung that line too, I don't know. It was just like, "Come on baby, won't you hold on to me?" Just kept playing over and over and over again, because that's what we all want. We want that baby to stick to us and hold on. And when she said, "We can last forever, come on baby, won't you hold on to me?" I just broke down, y'all. So I just broke down. It was such an emotional moment, and I was already emotional because, one, I hadn't seen my husband in 2 weeks, and I was very ready to see him. And then two, this morning I kind of found out that we may be looking at deployment earlier than we planned, which changes my fertility plan, but also changes the amount of time that I'll have with my husband in the next year. So today has been a very emotional day for me. Yeah, sorry I'm not sitting down. I don't have things like all set up or anything, but I wanted to go ahead and film this. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm going to therapy today so we can process all this stuff and I can let out all of my emotions, because I did kind of hold them in yesterday. I kind of cut myself short from crying, and then I just got home, was exhausted emotionally, mentally, physically, and I just passed out for 6 hours. And it just so happened to be National Napping Day yesterday, which I thought was hilarious because I got the nap of my life, okay? I hope all of it made sense. I'm trying to keep you guys up on what's going on with my fertility journey. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Thumbs up this video if you haven't already. Click the subscribe button to join my fertility journey if you haven't already, and go ahead and share this video with other women who may be dealing with some of the same struggles. Let them know that there's a community for them. And yeah, thank you guys as always for always supporting me, always praying for me, always rooting me on. I appreciate it. I love when you guys write me on Instagram and here on YouTube, giving me updates on your journeys, what's going on with you. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me encouraged. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Hello, thank you for joining. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.